Dzień dobry, witam Państwa serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku chirurgii plastycznej przy kawie. Dzisiaj będę miał przyjemność rozmawiać z panem profesorem Fabio Santanelli di Pompeo i profesorem Michailem Sorotosem z Uniwersytetu Sapienza w Rzymie na temat rekonstrukcji piersi. Welcome to another episode of plastic surgery over coffee. We'll speak about breast reconstruction. Breast cancer is the most popular cancer among women in Poland. In Poland, the number of new cases is around 20,000 per year. And what bothers us the most is that the number and the average age of the patient is decreasing. And please tell us, how does the statistic look like in Italy and worldwide?
So, thank you for your question. In Italy, we have 55,000 cases of breast cancer every year in women and 500 cases in men. We've seen the last 30 years a 3% increase every year. So we have more or less the same statistics like you. The numbers are increasing and the age is decreasing. Worldwide, there are 1.6 million women every year affected by breast cancer.
The treatment of the breast cancer, it's multidisciplinary treatment. It's not only about the surgery, it's also about the chemotherapy, it's about radiotherapy, immunology, and of course, reconstruction of the breast cancer. But still, for example, in the United States, there is around 300,000 cases per year, and 50%, more or less 50% of them, they are treated by surgery. So that's as a main treatment. Is there anything that we can propose to the patient regarding reconstruction?
We can offer our patients different types of breast reconstruction. It is important to know that, for example, in Italy, 50% of the patients usually get reconstruction immediate together with breast cancer removal. And if we want to discuss the various options of breast reconstruction, we can use the own tissues of the patient. It is called autologous breast reconstruction, or we can use breast implants that can be applied to reconstruct a breast. And sometimes we need to use both tissues, own tissues and implants.
And Professor Santanelli, please tell us, is there one method better than another?
Okay, that's an important change that we achieved in the last years. Let's say that in the 80s, in the 90s, we started to promote in plastic surgery one method among the other because everybody was thinking that one method was the best one. But nowadays we should put the patient in the center of our multidisciplinary work, and we have to consider which one is the best method according to patient characteristic, which means body characteristic as well as surgical treatment of the specific patient or ancillary procedures like chemo or radio. So according to one specific case, then we select the best treatment, surgical reconstruction, as was said by Professor Sorotos before. And
can we say what are the advantages and disadvantages, for example, for immediate breast implant, direct-to-implant breast reconstruction?
Well, the main advantage between immediate or delayed is definitely with immediate reconstruction, the patient does not go through the unfavorable period of mutilation after the mastectomy, which definitely is for the psychology of the patient is not very nice to go through this. And of course, it's wise not to suffer for such a long period. So immediate reconstruction has that advantage, definitely. Besides that, it's much easier to reconstruct a similar breast if you do it in the immediate stage than if you do it in the delayed. And in the Italian breast unit, one of the data that is evaluated by the government in order to give the quality of the breast unit is the amount of immediate reconstruction, which is very important.
And what about autologous breast reconstructions? How would you persuade the patient to go for it, and what are the advantages?
Okay, the autologous breast reconstruction I consider as the most versatile reconstruction because it can be used in all patients that has an amount of autologous tissue available for reconstructing the breast. And I would say that probably 90-95% they can do it. Nevertheless, you need to have a very specific training and expertise in microsurgical reconstruction, or pedicle reconstruction, so it's more technically demanding. So that's the main disadvantage.
I know that you are a master in DIP flap and in microsurgical reconstructions. So the question is this DIP flap for every patient, for everyone, or is it challenging, risky method? How does it look like?
Well, coming back to your previous question, I don't need so much to persuade patients. Nowadays, patients know very well what deep flap is. They come specifically requiring for deep flap. And when you tell them, I'm sorry, you don't have enough belly, they cry, they are very sorry, because now they are able to understand what's the best in reconstruction. Definitely, deep flap has several advantages, because when the indications are good, which means that you have enough belly according to the breast size, then you can catch two birds with one stone. You remove the fat from the belly, and so you do a kind of aesthetic abdominoplasty. At the same time, you don't spare the tissue, but you use it to reconstruct your oncologic mastectomy. So it's definitely a simple, best procedure.
Mm-hmm. And breast reconstruction is not only about reconstructing the breast mount, it's also about the nipple sensation, the reconstruction of the nipple areola complex. Is there anything that we can offer to the patient?
Yeah, something is offered already when the breast surgeon do the nipple sparing mastectomy. So preserving the skin and the nipple, of course you preserve to some extent also the sensation. There are some experimental work that they are doing now, trying to connect some nerves from the intercostal region to the left nipple in order to increase the sensibility, but this is most experimental. When you do a radical modified mastectomy, which means that you remove the whole skin envelope and the breast, and you reconstruct with the belly, in such a case, by using the deep flap, you can re-innervate sensitively the mount that you are going to replace, so that you reconstruct the volume, but also the sensation. That can be done with autologous tissue from the belly.
There's a number of patients suffering from lymphoedema after the oncological treatment or after radiotherapy. Is there anything that we can do for them?
Sure. There is an enormous amount of patients that suffer. Usually this lymphedema doesn't start immediately, but it may start a couple of years after the mastectomy. And when you follow up the patient, you can easily understand from the beginning that it starts to have some collection of lymphos into the arm. And what we can do when we do the reconstruction with the belly, which is the deep flap, you can take the whole flap together with the few lymph nodes, a couple of lymph nodes from that area. You move everything up and you position those lymph nodes back into the axilla. By positioning this vascularized lymph node into axilla, you can improve a lot the problem of the lymphedema, which make a big difference in terms of quality of life. That can be done also after breast reconstruction has been done, because still you can go and collect those few lymph nodes and transfer by themselves without the belly. Or you can even do some connection in the arm between vein and lymphatic vessels in order to increase the drainage of the lymph. So there's a lot that can be done nowadays for this problem.
After the reconstruction of the breast mount, what happened with the second breast? Is there anything that we can do for it?
So it is very important to consider both breasts when we do breast reconstruction. In our experience, it is possible to offer immediate symmetrization to the contralateral breast, but even if sometimes it is not possible, there is always the possibility after breast reconstruction to offer a symmetrical result by doing surgery on the other breast.
So, as we can see that breast reconstruction after a mastectomy is like a standard these days. So I will speak to our patients, possible patients. rekonstrukcja piersi tak naprawdę jest w dzisiejszych czasach standardem i powinna być standardem postępowania w każdym leczeniu onkologicznym. Dlatego zachęcam wszystkie panie, u których stwierdzono nowotwór piersi, aby przed zabiegiem operacyjnym amputacji czy jakiegoś innego częściowego leczenia guza piersi skonsultowały się ze swoim lekarzem prowadzącym, z chirurgiem onkologicznym bądź z chirurgiem plastycznym na temat doboru najlepszej metody, nie tylko pod kątem wycięcia raka, ale także w późniejszym etapie lub jednoczasowym etapie rekonstrukcji piersi. Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Bardzo dziękuję. Do widzenia.
Dziękuję.